Hello, good people of YouTube, and welcome to a best of 3 traditional Strixhaven Draft on MTG Arena with your host, Travis Semulin Sowers. What's up, Niz? We are going to treat this draft as if we are drafting competitively. Lately, I've gotten the habit of just forcing Lorehold or forcing Dimir and having fun with the deck, but I thought let's change it up and do like a serious draft. So if I'm sitting down for the Sweatsuit Invitational and for some god-awful reason it's Sweatsuit, the Sweatsuit Invitational is Strixhaven, then I think I'm still taking the Draconic Intervention here, but I'm not taking it with the idea that I'm going to force Lorehold. I'm taking it with the idea that this can be a pretty easy to put together board wipe for 4 mana. But I'm not opposed to letting go of it. I'm not opposed to getting into Prismari. I'm not opposed to playing Black-Red if that's what's open. YouTubers, if you like the content, do consider subscribing to the YouTube channel and checking out the Twitch stream, which is at twitch.tv/Semulin. So here we have a mythic that I don't care for. We've got Reconstruct History, which can be incredibly powerful in Lorehold. There's Serpentine Curve, which can be quite nice in Dimir or Prismari. There's also Combat Professor. I feel like the best Lorehold decks I have Combat Professor. And there's an Environmental Sciences. I don't think I'm going to take the Reconstruct History. It's a bit of an ombo with Draconic Intervention. If it wheels, I would certainly play it. And it's a matter of, do I want to speculate on the Serpentine Curve and see if we can get into Dimir shenanigans, which is fun, and I haven't done that in a while, or take the Combat Professor, or try to take the Sciences and stay incredibly open. Well, I feel like you can build a deck around Serpentine Curve. I could respect Professor or Environmental Sciences here, but I'm going to try the Curve and see where this takes us. It might also just put us straight into Prismari, which would be nice too. Now here we're going to have to give a nod to the Past Caller. These are really good. If we wanted to move more towards Dimir, the Mage Hunter's Onslaught wouldn't be crazy here. And I suppose we could be entirely out on our own and take the Mortality Spear. But like, it's funny that I'm like, hey, I'm not going to force Lorehold, and we're getting past good Lorehold cards. This is also splashable if we get into Prismari. So I think this is just the best card. Now things are looking a tad bit off. Not that I mind Start from Scratch or Fuming Effigy. They're fine cards, but I don't particularly want them. There's nothing here I really want to play aside from Zimone. And I think in my, Lorehold, I would just take the Start from Scratch or the Silverquill Campus and see where it takes us. But I'm looking at this as about the same power level of Pasta Caller. Obviously, this comes into play earlier, and they have a chance to kill it before you get the value. But Zimone's a reasonable card. So, like, if blue-green's what's coming around, we'll take it. And now it's a little bit of a time to decide. It's not entirely time to decide, because I don't think Frost Trickster is quite that good, but it's close. I do think I prefer Inkling Summonings, but it's worth noting that there's still a Reconstruct History, which is very good, of Frost Trickster, as well as a Snakeskin Veil, which can be very good at protecting your duders. I think I'm going to go with the Summoning, but I could respect either of those two cards there too. Okay, Rise is probably going to lean me back into Lorehold. That feels relatively late to me. And I think is setting me up to play the deck I enjoy playing the most anyway. So I'm thinking we're probably looking at something like this. Man, I always love having a Pilgrim in these decks. I also love having a Spirit Summoning in the side, but this is like the least valuable summoning. So I think I can find that later. And if part of our plan is going to be like stall and kill him with Lorehold stuff, we're good. There's a nice pickup. It does not look like people are taking the lessons particularly highly here, which is good for us. I don't always play Pillar Drop Rescuer, but you can. There's certainly nothing wrong with it. Okay, and if the whole table doesn't want Reconstruct History, I'll find a way to make this work. More risky would be to take the Reflective Golem and see if I wheel the other one. You know, if we've actually identified that it's that open, I think I can do that. Because this pack had the Academic Dispute, which is quite nice to have with the Golem. There's nothing wrong with this either. We can play it if we have to. I think it was this pack that had the other Reconstruct. It shouldn't go this late. And I don't think it's going to. But that's fine. Again, it's a bit of a nombo with the Draconic Intervention, but like, whatever. I would have played it if it'd come back, but I think the Reflective Golem giving me the opportunity to take something like a Guiding Voice is nice here. Yeah, I really like the Pilgrim. And I too have encountered those weird pods. The last one, I barely got any lessons. But here, like, the Learn's coming around super late. Both of them are. So it's tough to figure out what's going on. We did have somebody take the Reconstruct History. But they could just be splashing it. We will see. So Defend the Campus is not bad to have. Silverquill Pledge Mage is certainly playable. Expanded Anatomy you can usually find a use for. I think I like the Expanded Anatomy, given that I already have a couple of flyers and a Reflective Golem to pair with it. And I would already value the next Guiding Voice relatively highly too. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, I'm not necessarily happy first picking it, but I'm happy to have it in the deck. I played Gift of Estates in my last Lorehold deck, and it was okay. I do think we're buckled in at this point, and I think we'd probably have room for one Pigment Storm. I feel really unhappy second picking it. If we were to, like, is there a world where we shift into, like, there might be. Like, I shouldn't be... Are you supposed to have figured out what you're supposed to do pack one? Because what if one of those people took the Reconstruct History and was like, let's get in and do this? Because the other option is to take Embryn and look to go blue-red. CBL is currently down. Remind me after this draft and I'll put it back up. I don't know if it works during the draft portion anyway. I don't think I'm going to do that, but I'm a little scared. All right, I have to assume that Mila is better in a dedicated Lorehold deck than Combat Professor, and that I don't have to worry about this being open anymore if two people don't want this. I can try to put CBL up now. I forgot I'd restarted the computer. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't. And it isn't down. I'm so smart. Yeah, CBL is up and working. I did restart the computer, but I remembered to put that back in. Okay. And so here's another Reconstruct History. Here's another Pasta Caller. I'm going to take the Pasta Caller. Yeah, I think it just doesn't work in drafts, but you can see it in the gameplay. This is going swimmingly. And here's our Combat Professor, which I didn't think I would get another shot at. But sorry, YouTube, I was planning to show you a draft where we drafted what was open instead of Lorehold, but lo and behold, it was Lorehold. This is not my favorite 2-drop, but it's good enough. I'm thinking about the Prismari campus as like, if we want to splash something, but currently I don't, and I don't have any 2s, and I need some. Let's just pick them up. Pillar Drop Warden can probably find a home here. Man, I really don't like this as a 2-drop here, but I do like this Reflective Golem. I'm still thinking I might spend that other Reconstruct History. I still need a little bit better spell density to make sure that I can get the Draconic Intervention off, because I really can't have it be something that I can only cast after Rise of Extus. Pillar Drop Warden's quite fun to like bring back and then get something back. We just don't have enough spells. I could do something with Thrilling Discovery or Show of Confidence if we need to. Pillar Drop Rescuer can be quite good to bring back too. I'm hoping I spend one of those Reconstruct Histories. Defend the Campus may need to be my jam here. Although, if there was ever a deck for Semester's End, it's this one. Because I can already blink the Pilgrim and get another land, the Rescuer and bring something back, and the Pasta Callers. I think I actually want this. I've never played that. I could side this in when I'm on the draw. Like if we win the first round, we could play it. I do think we could play another Pillar Drop Rescuer. I'm mostly looking for spells, though, and we don't have a campus yet, so let's just grab one. I feel like I need a random 2-drop spell, and then Thrilling Discovery and Gift of Estates are kind of looking good for that. We did get one Reconstruct History. So we've already got a couple instants, a couple sorceries. All of these are sorceries, so there'll be plenty of sorceries. So instants would be incredibly valuable here. It's a late juke, but not for us. So little things like Shock or Heated Debate would be really nice in the last pack to get the instant count up. Chaos Warp is an instant, and generally one that I'm quite happy to play. It'll usually kill something from the opponent. Especially in this format where so many things are spells instead of permanents. It's kind of like a reverse Divine Gambit, if you think about it. But it can never be entirely safe. But I was just saying that we need instants. I think I might pick a Heated Debate over it just because it's a little less random. But I need instants that I can cast, especially 3-mana ones. It'll make the Wrath do something. Another World would have wanted Cody. This one I don't think does. I desperately want one Expel in this deck. I think I can spin this. Nobody likes it but me. But I think Igneous Inspiration is just better. What's up, Bert? Yeah, we're doing the YouTube draft for today. You probably figured that out. This one kind of sucksers. There's not really anything I want in this pack. And the 2-drop slot is just dying. That is unfortunate. I want my free Lorehold Excavation too. I don't think there's a realistic world where we're splashing for any of this blue, so I think this campus is relatively useless, but it's the only thing here I'd really want. Like, the Silver Quill Pledge Mage isn't the worst, but right now I need, like, an Expel and 2 more 2-drops. That's another way to generate value at 5 mana, but I feel like I've already got plenty of that. And I've been saying for a while I need to focus on 2-drops. So this is a bit of an adult pick. I like this card so much that I've splashed for it in Teamer decks and been very happy with it. If you can enable 1 attack, you're usually really far ahead. But we need the 2-drop. Mage? Which mage? Sure, there's a chance the Apprentice wheels, but it's pack 3 and I have 1 2-drop. So I can't chance it. Like, also in the blind, I think Study Break would be incredibly valuable for this deck. But I've got to find at least 1 more 2-drop. I'm not going to find at least 1 more 2-drop, but that's okay. We'll get an Intro to Annihilation and probably have to play this. Hallelujah. Okay, we can play you. Study Break gives me the last thing I needed to... Oh, okay, never mind. We're perfect. We're good. We're good! The Study Break gives me another way to interact with the Reflective Golem, and also here's literally everything I ever could have wanted last pick. So what's our last card? We can get 1 Piggy Storm. Yeah, I think I want 1 Piggy Storm. How many learn? We've got Academic Dispute, Study Break, Igneous Inspiration, and Rise of Extus, so 4 currently. Dude, I said I wanted an Expel and an Illuminate History. I might prefer the Expel to the Chaos Warp. I think I do. It'd be nice to have 2 ways to exile things. Oh, the Silver Quill Pledge Mage. Fair. We could side this in again in some matchups. Well, there was somebody else that was taking the other Reconstruct Histories, but I really only wanted 1. I tried to stay out of Lorehold this time. I really did. But every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. We've been getting nice memory lapse for our collection. Which is a shame. That's a decent card in Limited. I don't think I would side that in. I could with the Reflective Golem, though. And I've already got 2 Thrilling Discoveries, which I don't think we're playing. That worked out rather nicely. I'm pretty happy with the way that draft unfolded. Let's do our Stream Raiders battle, and then we'll take it out for a spin. Because I think we can probably win this, too. We did divide our forces, which is not always the best strategy. But if that southern force can hold on long enough, I think the main force of the army can come back and clean up. That mage is going to die. But they tried. How many ways do we have to maximize Reflective Golem? I believe 3. And one of them would also get the Expanded Anatomy, which would sort of make 4. I mean, I guess you could say 5 if you think about it. I'll show you how. Thunderdan and Poet with the kills and assists. Rewards for Cosmere, Apollo, and Nexus Owlins. Boop. So cards that interact favorably with the Reflective Golem include, but are not limited to, Academic Dispute, Study Break, I didn't get a Guiding Voice. I meant to get a Guiding Voice, but I didn't. Okay, so that actually gives us 1, 2, 3 with Reconstruct History, because I can potentially get it back. And then the 4th would be the Expanded Anatomy. So I think that ends us with 4, which I think is enough to play at. Also, a 2/3 is nice, where I've got some 2-cost spells and the Draconic Intervention. Like, there's a bunch of, like, 2/3s in this that could sort of live through it. So I don't think this is the world's best Reflective Golem. But again, 2 of them with the Reconstruct History seems at least acceptable to me. I also just have an unnatural appreciation for 2/3s. Go Power Golem! Yeah. All right, let's do the thing. Could you show me what the heck is that Warp Red mythic? Sure. It's Chaos Warp. It's an oldie, but it's the owner of target permanent, reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent, they put it onto the battlefield, and you shuffle in whatever it is, right? So you really can't even do things with scry stuff unless you could, like, scry in response to it, I guess. But it's mostly kill target creature. They could put a permanent from their library into play. It's kind of like a reverse Divine Gambit. The upside is that it's instant, so you can kind of blow out any combat trick or anything like that with it. And generally speaking, in this format, there's going to be more spells than creatures, and you don't care if they hit a land, usually. So, like, I'll play Chaos Warp, but I think in this deck, it's mainly here because I need an instant. What happens if it's a sorcery or instant? Nothing. It doesn't go anywhere. Instant speed is good, but you're taking a risk with Chaos Warp, whereas with Divine Gambit, you're not, unless you're playing it poorly, right? So that it is definitively worse than Divine Gambit. But the instant speed does give you a lot to play with. But like generally speaking with this style of deck, I think Expel will be better for me. I mainly wanted the Chaos Warp because of the instant speed to try to combo with Reconstruct History. But we'll see if we got something here. Looks all right to me. Yeah, you can literally kill something and then have it come right back, which is not great. You can also be a nut and do it on your own lands or whatever. I don't think it's non-land permanent, but it might be. I don't truly remember. Let's get the Reflective Golem going first. If I draw a Study Break, that'd be cool. All right, go get them, boys. That does seem more like a constructed application. I suppose that would depend for me on how desperate I am. Just kind of curving out here. I dig it. One 5 beats, a classic strategy. That aspect could have gone better though. Who'd have thought Wraths were good? Are you a Spirit Cleric? You are a Spirit Cleric. That's incredibly interesting. We could kind of start getting everything. We can get the band back together, basically. It's good to know about the Crux of Fate. So I can't really do anything with this, which is unfortunate, but we can be prepared to block things. Yeah. Present lethal. I should be able to play some tonight. Probably like 8 or 9 or something. Congratulations. I felt incredibly powerful when I was able to solo kill a boss and wipe 2 teams. I think I may actually be getting not embarrassingly bad at Hunt. We're going to really need to pay attention to this Crux of Fate and try not to play in such a way that we get blown out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boogie. Boop. That works. All right, so we've got multiple things that Defend the Campus would be good against, and Crux of Fate, which is a little scary. But I think I do want the Defend the Campus, especially as it has positive interactions with Reconstruct History. Chaos Warp isn't crazy here either. But I don't think we necessarily need that risk factor. We didn't even draw any spells that game, which is kind of funny. Do I need... I don't know that I need 2 Reflective Golems if it's not actually blocking anything that matters. The Semester's End is a bit cute. I understand that. But when I could be blinking Pasta Callers and Pillar Drop Rescuers and Pilgrim of the Ages, I'm at least interested. The answer is probably to cut one of these. It's also not crazy to bring in the Gift of Estates on the draw. I mean, it also could interact favorably with the Crux of Fate. So, like... Boop. Sure, you have reach. I think I like just getting something to cast, because Reconstruct History is already good at this point. Although, I'd rather this not be alive. But this does make Reconstruct History just for those 2 fine. Do kind of need that not to be here, but we can study break and buy a minute. Do I need to Introduction to Annihilation it? I mean, need is a strong word. I think I'd rather take the Elemental Summoning and threaten to double block it. Or trade it for that. That could be something we need to do as well. Because that's pretty good. That can get me back a nothing, which is unfortunate. But it could get me back a Lorehold Apprentice if I wanted to like double trade that. It looks like they're planning on introing this. which is kind of scary. That makes me want to, like, slow things down a little bit. Rip Apart doesn't really do a whole lot yet. But this does at least buy me an additional turn, which is a start. And maybe I do want to just start introducing them to some Annihilation. This feels like it should be enough mana for me to do something, right? Like, I can get rid of the Professor, which I am scared of, play the Lorehold Apprentice, and kind of dare him to do something. Ideally, they don't have a Snakeskin Veil here. If they sacrifice it, that's kind of fine. Like, they could have Village Rights, but you got me. I wonder if I just want to burn that. I don't think so right now. Because I can't double block this currently, so I may as well just get a poke in here. It's still a hell of a lot of damage coming through from the 5/5, but I've got, I think, enough answers for it. We could draw Expel, we could draw Igneous Inspiration in conjunction with the Rip Apart. We've got options. Yeah, I saw that FTK. When they announced that, I may play some to practice, but I don't love Chromatic Cube. I do love being a winner, and I've won a lot of the sweatsuits. Net zero? They'd still draw 2 cards off of something that was going to die anyway, so I think overall that's better for them. Man, I'd love to set up a board where I can blink some stuff and get them. That's a lot of damage. Right, but you draw 2 with Village Rights and 1 from Introduction. It would be net 1 card. Oh, I see what you're saying, because they're spending the card. So they'll use it here. That makes sense. I don't think I'm ready to chump yet, but it's getting close. This is bloody terrifying. I needed to hold that land and I didn't because I'm bad. But they're just going to sacrifice the ingredient. This is okay. I'll get my blocks. This semester's end is not good enough. I wanted more value off of it, but I can't get it. What happens if this kills the token, right? I can't use this on my token. Because if a token gets exiled, it's just gone, right? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I guess I was supposed to hold full control there to get to ping him for one. Okay. I think we're probably very dead here. Because even my Wrath isn't big enough to get them here. I'd have to draw Rise of Exodus into Draconic Intervention. Which I suppose is something that could happen. Defend the Campus sort of starts it, but not quite. I figured maybe if I held that, it would tempt him into sacrificing that guy, which is a start. Because now we look sort of stable until they fire this off. But that could draw me an Expel. Which would be mighty nice. Ooh, that is not mighty nice. That is considerably less than mighty nice. So I think at this point I need cards that don't exist in the format. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Yeah, I need 2 cards here, and I can't get 2 cards. Eager First Year certainly isn't doing it. I still like the what we've sideboarded in, because I wanted to draw the Defend the Campus basically every turn there. So if I'm like, oh my god, can we please draw Defend the Campus? I may also be better off just playing the Chaos Warp instead of the Semester's End. Because I don't think their Wrath is what's killing me. I think their big creatures are what's killing me, and I need to be able to answer those. Especially now that I've seen the Gnarled Professor. That thing's terrifying. Big, 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 and it's green, green, green. That'll do, pig. We do a good cat thing. That probably just gets ripped, eh? Go on, get swole. I'm not going to take 3 damage off of it and then kill it. Ooh, that is a risky move. Why not the Study? I don't think it's a good card in general, so I don't want to play it. That was nice. It's okay. We have some value generating engines that are going to get started here. I'm not really looking for a 3-mana combat trick in this deck. Yeah, it was a 1 for -1, and that makes me sad, but we can sort of make up for it with the Pasta Caller. I'm trying to figure out now if I'm supposed to play around Go Blank or not, and I think the cost is so low I'm going to do it for one turn. They have drawn 7 more cards than me. Which is significant. Do I have the music turned on? I thought I did, but I can't really hear it. This would probably be needing Expel. It's a good Witherbloom deck. And our Chaos Warp hitting there was particularly bad for us. So I can get an instant and a sorcery. I'd like an instant and a sorcery. Problem is I'd also like for this not to be killing me. I guess I can untap, expel it. I feel like this is probably what I have to play this turn. I wish this was an instant. It'd be a lot better if it was. But we can potentially expel this next turn, Chaos Warp the Fractal, if they cast it. Like, us discarding that land hurt us. It sucks bumping into somebody that understands the power of the Daemogoth Woe Eater. This displeases the Travis. Again, I'm not going to sit here and take 20 damage off of this thing. But I may actually be able to grind them out from here. There's a bit of grind power left here. But I'm at 25 cards, they're at 16. They've drawn a lot more cards than me. Gravedig my Gravedigger, a classic. Everybody grab a leg! This does kind of lock me into Chaos Warping that if they attack with it, but I'm okay with that. I could also, if I wanted to, Chaos Warp this in response to an introduction to Annihilation, but that doesn't seem wonderful to me. Certainly try to block it. Didn't expect that to work. They got a huge fractal, but I got two ways to deal with it. Including potentially double blocking it here. Which is a little risky. It's, again, been pretty rough that we've had to cast Chaos Warp twice, and it's helped them both times, but go figure. I may not be able to get infinite bird value, and this displeases me. So what if we do this for 5? Is that good? Because it seems like it'd be good. I do lose my burb, but I get a 2 for 2 that untaps with me doing more burb things. Didn't like playing the bird last turn over the campus, the pledge mage. Huh? Oh, you liked campus into pledge mage better? I could see it. I feel like bird dirtling is what might get us back into this game. Bottom is good. Drop Rescuer does not get me anything currently. So I guess we're going bird into Rip Apart if we have to. And we're no longer playing around discard because we're pretty close to dead here. I've managed not to draw any 2-drops somehow. Well, that's not fair. We drew Rip Apart, and we were counting that as a 2-drop. This was always going to happen. If we defend that and play a pair of 2-drops, I think we're stable-ish. Stable adjacent at 2. Okay, grab a leg. What do I want back? Probably defend the campus, eh? I could have, but our life total is so low that if they have Professor's Warning or Snakeskin Veil, we'd probably just die. And I don't want to just die. You could try to find a little bit of value there, but I figure if I'm going to do it and they're tapped out, that's a great time to... If I have to do it and they're tapped out, let's go ahead and do it. Last thing I need is this splashed Whirlwind denial. Like, again, they've got 8 cards left. They've seen so much more of their deck than I have. So our value isn't in drawing raw cards, it's in, like, recurring crap. The 2-drops were here right when we needed them. They scryed so much bottom, they may be about to just hit tons of bad stuff, which sounds good to me. Can't really be attacking just yet. Well, I can now. Yeah. We did make them shuffle twice, that's fair, but they've been doing a good bit of scrying since then. They're at 4 cards left. Which my guess is the last ones are just more lands. Yeah, they've drawn a lot of cards. It don't think one removal spell can kill me now. Yeah, they had Tezzeret's Gambit, multiple Woe Eaters, Village Rites. I functionally drew them 2 cards with the Chaos Warp. How does a removal spell kill me? Oh, shoot, you're right. I need to be careful. Onslaught would kill us too. There's a lot of things that would kill me here. I need to try to close this game out next turn. Is what I need to try to do. I didn't even notice that. Be a shame to play it that tight and then lose it the last second. It also leads to like getting 2-for-1s not being terribly important. So that may be something we have in common, John. I can Warden into a Rip Apart, and I probably should do that. Because if they have anything they need to think about here, I think I lose the game. I need to pee pretty bad, but that's not an excuse for, like, being terrible. Because, yeah, that basically kills me. That's incredibly unfortunate. But at least I do get to go pee. I forgot about the counterland. All right, we're going to take a brief break so I can go do that. You cannot... No. This is sorcery, Mab. Either way, I'll be right back. Thank you for your patience. That was an unfortunate loss. I've noticed an issue in my playing that I think could be adjusted, because I said I was going to sit down and draft this like we were doing something competitive, and I did. And I played it like we were doing something competitive until I was like, I probably win from here. And then didn't bother thinking about, is attacking with that 3-2 worth it? Like, I didn't think about it at all. I'm just chit-chatting, doing the thing. I don't hate the cube. I just don't love cubes. And the one game I played in that seemed like it was most of the stuff I really don't like about cube. Like, for me, the fun part of drafting is figuring out what's open and then kind of winning the draft, right? Like, I think in this draft, we got the best deck we possibly could have gotten. And if I'd played a little tighter, I think we could have won that. Stomping with the kills, Electro Smorg with the assists. That's a cool name. Rewards for Techno Shaman, Cosmere, Guifor, and Elgif. But I've noticed when I think I've basically won the game, that gets me to a point where I start getting really lazy. I'm like, oh, okay, we won. I can chit-chat for a bit and not pay attention. And I don't really think you can do that. Well, I still enjoy the gameplay of Magic. I'll kind of get set in my head like, oh, I'm ahead, I'm probably winning. And then not bother to think through everything. Whereas I think if I'm like, you know, playing against John and it's the Sweatsuit Invitational, I'm going to be like, okay, what happens if they draw a removal spell? Let's stop for a second and do the math. Like, I think a quick, hey, what happens if they draw a removal spell that isn't Mage Duel? It's like, I need to just kill that menace creature and we probably can't lose. But by deciding not to, we can definitely lose. Or just don't attack with the 3-2. That works too. But I didn't bother to think that through because it's like, okay, we got them. They've been scrying bottom. They're just going to hit a bunch of lands. I don't have any yet. Got to play it before I know what to think about it. It's cool. I like that they're doing a crossover. Like, cool idea, but takes about, realistically, 3 or 4 weeks to decide if you like a set or not. Because all of them are fun for the first couple drafts. The question is it going to be fun in 2 months? And I'm starting to realize that that's a pretty high bar. Oh, you don't need to feel bad about it. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, sure. Bad cram session. Well, I know that that's a weakness in my gameplay anyway, so like, it doesn't entirely surprise me that I would screw that up. Well, I think they did too, John, but I didn't even play them that much back in the old days, right? Like, I can only remember a few that have done it semi-recently. We could set us up for a Wrath for 2, looks pretty good. Depending on what they have. Like, really old sets that I remember liking, I'm also like, I didn't play them that much. Okay, I guess we're going to need a Wrath for 4. Which is going to be kind of difficult for me to get. Because this doesn't even go to the graveyard. But okay, let's continue building a board state. We'll figure it out. I was not always streaming 5 days a week. When I first started, and see, that's one of the things with Cons of Tarkir. When I played that, I think I streamed for less than 10 hours a week. I think I'm supposed to be doing this. I don't think the 2 damage a turn is something I have to be terribly concerned with. But it might be. I'd really love to just intervention for 4 and start over, but that's not really the world I'm living in. I wonder if I swing with this if they block it, because that would solve my problem. It looks like they would not block it, is the answer to my question. So do we study break and annihilate it? I think we do. I had enough Zendikar Rising personally. I know you really enjoyed the set. I didn't care for it so much. No, I don't think they're running out of compelling ideas for Limited. I think I think what Limited has changed over time. And sometimes we get a throwback to what it used to be, and that's where I get excited. But I also realize that my memories are probably kind of warped too. Because as I mentioned, some of the older sets that I like a lot, I didn't play that much. There you go, John. It's almost like what made Limited fun back in the days was accidental. Kind of cool if we did. Prophecy 101. I guess it'd be Prophecy 201. I guess that'll be when Return to Strixhaven in 6 years. Two top, eh? Bloody terrifying. Trying to decide what I want to get back here, if anything. The Inkling Summonings is probably okay. It was really interesting to me to hear Hunter describe Dominaria as a low-power set, because I can remember it feeling incredibly high-powered at the time. Yeah, I felt old. I felt very old. I'll play a little more cautiously here. I don't want to trade an Inkling Summonings for a Pest token. We could get back Study Break and Inkling Summonings if we need to with Reconstruct. I guess we play around to go blank for a turn. Guess who's back? They'd have played it by now if they had it. I probably don't need to worry about hand discard. We're reconstructing first though, right? Because I get so many things. They had enough. All right, I think we can do this. Again, maintaining focus seems to be the key. So there's splashing for Closing Statement and Silver Quill Command, which is just solid removal. And they do have a Wrath of their own at incredibly high mana. How do we feel about Defend the Campus here? Not particularly good. I don't think I want it. I shouldn't need Chaos Warp either. This actually looks fine to me. Let's do that. Wetspot is a valued member of our community. All right. Dangerous curves ahead. Not dealing with you. You know, I feel pretty comfortable just sitting on this for a while. I played one round of the cube and I did not care for it. It's okay for you to like it, and I may still play some. If the Sweatsuit Invitational is going to be cube this week, I'll play cube. But I don't want to. Is there Wrath? How much does Deadly Vanity cost? That doesn't tell me. I'm pretty sure it's 8 though, and that's only 6, so I don't have to worry about it this turn. Well, I know it costs 3 black. 5 B B B B B. I probably do want to hold up some Esters in next turn. They could be sandbagging it. Well, guess they're not sandbagging it now. Yes, but they get to draw cards. Exploded is my concern. I mean, if I just pop that, then they can't attack with the Titan. I mean, they can, but they're just gonna lose it. I've won a lot of games with that Titan. Yeah, you can chump block with it. That's not exactly what most people want to do with it, though. I probably will make a Star Wars set one day. We're getting Lord of the Rings and Warhammer 40k. Seems like it would just make sense now, you know? I'll attack your Death Star with my Indiana Jones. Fine, I'll block with my Ghazghkull Thraka and use phasers in response. Magic is going places, and I am legitimately excited about that. It's great for Tend to Pass. It's great if you've got a bunch of 1/1s. You can give it trample, you can give it flying. A lot of stuff you can do with it. We are getting a Lord of the Rings set. What's up, Rob? We're definitely getting a Lord of the Rings set and a Warhammer 40k set. Although from what I understand, the Lord of the Rings set will be draftable. The 40k set's only for Commander. Probably just Frodo. What are the chances of a Soul Ring reprint as the One Ring? I mean, I feel like you have to have a card called the One Ring. And if you don't, you're just doing it wrong. I thought I had something that could block that, because I don't really want to block it with Mila, but apparently I'm going to now. Which is fine, we can get her back with the Pillar Drop Warden. There used to be a Lord of the Rings card game. It didn't really go anywhere, because it wasn't very fun. I played it. There's probably somebody out there who's like, oh my god, it was the best card game ever. But it was definitively not for me. I mean, it's okay to like Artifact if people like Artifact. That wasn't for me either, but that's fine. I don't know how you got the Godzilla cosmetics outside of Arena. We have 3 things to blink profitably with Semester's End. I think we found a deck that wants it, Rob. I've got 2 Past Callers and a Pillar Drop Rescuer. They're going to cast a large fractal in the next little bit. And I think we're going to need the Rise of Extus in response. All right, cool. I can probably trade combat tricks for combat tricks here. Like, if you're playing one sudden breakthrough, and these guys, you're probably doing more. I'm not countering it. Because it can't be countered, so I would never do that. I guess I still don't get to keep the token though, so it sucks. But at least I got blockers now. I haven't picked Teferi's Protection very highly, personally. I should have just held that up. I don't know why I did that. I guess I forgot that it wouldn't work with the token. I don't typically play Teferi's Protection. I have not been super interested in that card. You reckon they got an opt? I'm kind of willing to believe you have an opt. I'm really nervous to use the Rise of Extus on this, because if they do have the fractal that I suspect, I'm going to need this for that. But I suppose at that point, we would just get Introduction to Annihilation. Which would probably be good enough, so that's what we should really get here. So that if they do have the Serpentine Curve we're worried about, we can just kill it. I think we're certainly interested in trading with one of these. We may be interested in trading with both. Yeah, I think I am. I don't think this is going to get much better. Because we could already top deck our Wrath. Would be a nice start. So I do need Pillar Drop Rescuer to get back Mila, but the game going longer is certainly good for us. I don't know why I would take anything other than Rise here. This is probably the Fractal. The Serpentine Curve, I presume. I suppose it could be Mizzix's Mastery, but I don't really know what we'd be doing about that. This at least makes them do this now. Yeah, if they've got a Nivix Mastery, we're just dead. I'm not prepared to Rise of Extus a 2-1. Make like a splash sound when that frog hit me. Kind of scary. What can I do with you? We could reconstruct an instant and a sorcery. I suppose that's better than nothing. Hey, what's up, MN? I use 17 lands and I'm pretty happy with that. All right, you did the thing. I may indeed have to Rise of Extus a Froggo. I do not want to Rise of Extus a Froggo. But that is now the world I'm living in. So get out of here, Froggo. Yeah, they really don't want us to perform archaeology. If they got a grip full of counterspells, this could be terrible for me. Yeah. This is indeed terrible for me. Frogs and counterspells the deck. If you're looking for an add-on for what to pick, I don't care for those. I'm dead to another frog. I think I've been undervaluing frogs. I mean, I gotta hand it to them. They have a plan. It does not provide an overlay. What do you want the overlay for? Because I don't want an overlay. They're going on the play. I don't want Gift of Estates. They're mainly killing me with little things. There still has to be a Serpentine Curve in that deck, but I don't need to panic about it. Yeah, I think I still have the tools that I need. Let's give it a go. 1-4 for the frogs. It's not crazy. I may do that when we go the other way. I don't like overlays, because most of the overlays are things like trying to tell me what to pick, and I don't want that. I want an add-on that will track my wins. And 17 lands does that for me. It's got to be advantage us, I would think. I think you're better off learning that freestyle. Well, that's just like my opinion, man. But bonjour, Kevin. Like the joy of drafting, the video series I did, !joy if you'd like to watch it, teaches all those concepts in 10-minute chunks. I may legitimately want that 1-4. I forgot I had it, and that's a really good idea, because that is what they're trying to kill me with, and I don't need a Fuming Effigy. Frankly, I probably don't need the Semester's End, but I do think you're better off learning how to do that calculation. We could kind of use Gift of Estates on the draw, but... Oh, did you? Okay. Season 2 will happen when I can monetize YouTube, because that's an incredible amount of work not to get paid for. I guess I could do something like set up a Patreon and be like, okay, when we get to $100 an episode, I'll make another one. Because I want to do more, and I've got ideas for more, but it takes about 5 hours to make those 10-minute videos for me. I remember when I did the first couple episodes, I was like, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll do season 2. And I was like, I'm sure that'll happen quickly, but it didn't. That's an incredible amount of work. They might have something better to kill than this frog, but I think I'm supposed to be patient here. I'm already doing the Pillar Drop Rescuer next turn, so the turn after getting Inkling Summoning into Rescuer could be quite useful. Expanded Anatomy would be great with this too, but I'm kind of looking at just stabilizing first, and then we'll get it. Yeah, if we can get a plains, but I've got 2 draws to find the plains. There's more plains in the deck than anything else right now. Thank you, Freestyler. Ah, the anti-frog. That's like somebody that works at the vet's office. Yeah, I'm the frog tech here at Home Crossing Animal Medicine. Frog tech at PetSmart, yeah. Frog butt at PetSmart. Probably a lot of frog butt at PetSmart. More red is good. I mean, you have to do something just as a planeswalker, right?
Vicious reinforcements are on their way.
I don't know if your ultimate does anything. It seems pretty good, actually. He's coming back, because next turn we can get back the Pillar Drop Rescuer and keep it. If we wanna.
A weapon. Attack.
See the frog tech? The only thing you don't see is white mana, which is a little awkward. Because I'd really like it.
I'm too strong for you. Defeat is a betrayal I won't tolerate.
We got our value. We've got less value now. We still got frog tech, which I dig. Just in time. Frog tech. So do they have a Mizzix Mastery, or are they just going to draw out of cards? I'm really not sure yet. Be nice if they didn't have a counter here. But I think this is the highest upside if they don't. Reject, I was not prepared for. Frogs, I was prepared for. Yeah, I'm like, they have to have something, right? It can't just be frogs all the way down. I mean, I suppose it can be. It can indeed be frogs all the way down. I don't have any instants. We can fix that. One more counterspell will be a bit tilting. Frog Tech is doing what we wanted him to do. It's true. It is providing tech against frogs. I'm still assuming they have at least a Serpentine Curve in this deck. Now there's the anti-frog tech. Which is a bit terrifying. The Comprat Professor's got some lessons for you. I think this could have been a 3-0 if I'd paid a little bit more attention in that first game. And I mean, maybe that's part of the Strixhaven blues, is I'm just not paying that much attention anymore. They've got 2 cards left. Frog Tech. Yeah, that was the plan. We were going to intro them and make them draw their last card. So YouTubers, thank you for tuning in and watching the draft. If you like what you've seen and would like more Joy of Drafting, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And do come check out the stream sometime. You can find it at twitch.tv/Semulin, where we draft just about every day. All right, chat, say goodbye to YouTube. YouTubers, we will catch you next time. Adios.